pleasant day to everyone. We are here today to present Chapter 8 Youth Physical Activity and Considerations for Interventions.
Introduction. The current World Health Organization physical activity guidelines call on children and age 5 to 17 years old to obtain at least 60 minutes of moderate to various physical activity per day, although additional health benefits are seen with additional physical activity. United Nations defines youth as those persons between 15 and 24 years of age, with children include those younger than 15. United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child defines children as persons up to age of 18. Sports is perhaps the most thoroughly researched domain for youth physical activity, particularly in regards to psychological determinants of participation. Human activity involving physical exertion and skills in which an individual or team competes. The benefits of sports participation. Number 1, improve physical health. Number 2, mental well-being. Number 3, social interaction. Number 4, discipline and self-confidence. Number 5, leadership and communication skills. Number 6, time management. Number 7, long-term health benefits. Number 8, academic performance. And number 9, development of motor skills and coordination. Bilang isang kabataan, kailangan natin itong mapaunlad upang makita ang kahalagahan at benepisyo ng larong pampalakasan sa ating kalusugan at ang ating kaisipan. Preschool children. They have limited fundamental sports and balance skills difficulty, judging the speed of moving object and short attention span. School-age children. During ages 6 to 9 children's growth slow down as they continue to develop fundamental sports skill and begin developing transitional skills, example, throwing or kicking for distance. Adolescents and teenagers. Growth increase exponentially with gain in muscle mass, muscle strength, and cardiopulmonary endurance, but this age is also marked by a temporary decrease in coordination, balance, and flexibility. Education. The National Association for Sports and Physical Education, NASPE, recommends at least one recess period per day for elementary school children, while many American elementary schools provides recess. It decreased significantly in middle school. Lack of activity during recess. Studies show that students are active for only 23 to 31% girls, to 32 to 38% boys of recess time. Insufficient levels of activity during recess prompt the need of intervention to increase physical activity. Intervention approaches. Various interventions aim to increase physical activity during recess. Common approaches include adding new equipment, enhancing playground markings, creating a specific play zone, involving teachers, and implementing planned activities. Studies on recess-focused intervention have shown generally positive results. Shape America recommend a specific time allocation for instructional physical education in school. Elementary school, 150 minutes per week, and for middle and high school, 225 minutes per week. While 97% of U.S. schools require PE in 6th grade, the percentage dropped below 45% for 11th and 12th grade students. In the European Union, all members states provide physical education, with most mandating at least 2 hours per week of instruction. CATCH, Child and Adolescent Trial for Cardiovascular Health, designed for grade 3, 4, and 5, with a focus on behavioral health and physical activity. Spark, sports, play, and active recreation for kids, promotes lifelong well-being through high-quality physical education with teachers training. Sakat dito po tinuturo sa mga kabataan ang pagiging malinis sa katawan at activated din sila sa physical activity. Tinuturo na sila ng mga fundamentals para sa pag-step nila sa high school ay meron na silang kaalaman. Sa Spark naman, dito na natututuhan ng mga bata kung paano nila gagamitin ang na-acquire nila sa elementary level at magagamit nila ito sa physical education na katulong ang kanyang guro.
Preschool children, the World Health Organization or WHO suggests children ages 1 to 4 years old spend 180 minutes daily in various physical activity. So dito po sinasabi ng World Health Organization na sinasuggest nila na ang mga bata na edad 1 hanggang 4 na taong gulang ay dapat nag-spend ng 180 minutes daily in various physical activities or 3 hours. Ano nga ba ang various physical activities? Pwedeng pagtakbo, pagsayaw, paggapang, o paglaro ng mga bola. School-age children. A whole-of-school approach is recommended to increase opportunities during physical education, recess, before, during, and after school hours. Halimbawa nito ay ang pagdadagdag ng mga laro o aktibidad tulad ng mga laro ng lahi, badminton, basketball, volleyball, o group exercise sa break time, at extracurricular activities upang hikayatin ang mga bata na mag-ehersisyo. Dumako naman po tayo sa adolescents and teenager. Adolescents and teenager. Requirements for physical education drop in high school, secondary school compared to younger age grades. Sa elementary kasi, ang mga bata ay may regular na klase ng physical education or PE bawat linggo. Samantalang sa high school, ang mga estudyante ay may mas kaunting oras para dito. At maaring kailanganin pa nilang magtakda ng oras para sa iba pang mga aktibidad tulad ng sports team or extracurricular clubs upang matugunan ang mga pisikal na pangangailangan. Isa ding dahilan ay ang pagka-busy nila sa mga schoolworks nila. Active transportation. Active transportation is defined as travel to and from school or work or other destination, which involves physical activity and includes walking or cycling. Often active transportation has been associated with overall higher physical activity levels in youth. Sabi po dito ni Stewart, bigyan na lang po natin ng halimbawa. Halimbawa, ang mga kabataan na naglalakad o nagbibisikleta daw papuntang sa kanilang paaralan ay karaniwang may mas mataas na antas ng pisikal na aktibidad kumpara sa mga gumagamit ng sasakyan. Ayon kay Stewart, ang aktibong transportasyon ay madalas na nauugnay sa pangkalahatang mas mataas na antas ng pisikal na aktibidad sa mga kabataan. Safe Routes to School or SRTS. Dumako po tayo dito sa programa na ito. Safe Routes to School or SRTS programs encourage active transportation through the 4 E's: engineering, enforcement, education, and encouragement. Itong programang ito ay naglalayong hikayatin ang aktibong transportasyon. Magsisimula po tayo sa engineering. Engineering involves design changes like better sidewalks, crosswalks, bicycle lanes to enhance safety. Halimbawa, ang pagpapalawak ng mga daanan para sa mga pedestrian at pagpapaganda ng mga tulay para sa bisikleta. Enforcement. Collaboration with local police department to enforce speed limits in school zones and install real-time speed monitoring signs. Sa enforcement naman, nakikipagtulungan ang mga lokal na ahensya ng pulisya upang ipatupad ang mga limitasyon sa bilis sa mga school zone na malapit sa paaralan at mag-install ng mga speed monitoring signs na may real-time na pagmamonitor sa bilis ng mga sasakyan upang maiwasan din ang mga aksidente. Dumako po tayo sa education. Education. Focus on classroom instruction to teach pedestrian and bicycle safety. Binibigyan din dito ang mga klase upang turuan ang mga estudyante ng tamang paraan ng paglakad at pagsakay ng bisikleta. Pati na rin ang mga pangunahing alituntunin para sa kanilang kaligtasan sa kakalsada. Dumako po tayo sa encouragement. Encouragement. Create incentives and excitement around active transportation to motivate participation. Dito naman sa encouragement, lumilikha ng mga insentibo at mga gawain na magpapataas ng kasiyahan at motibasyon ng mga mag-aaral na gamitin ang aktibong transportasyon tulad ng mga kompetisyon sa pagbibisikleta o ang pagbibigay ng mga gantimpala sa mga mag-aaral na regular na naglalakad o nagbibisikleta papunta sa paaralan. Preschool children, school-age children, and adolescents and teenager. Magsimula po tayo sa preschool children. Preschool children, depending on childcare arrangement, young children may have limited active transportation as they may not attend preschool or daycare. Halimbawa po, kung ang magulang ay hindi kayang maghatid o mag-escort sa kanila sa paaralan, sa kanilang mga anak sa paaralan, maaari nila itong magamit ang aktibong transportasyon tulad ng paglalakad o pagbibisikleta. Dumako po tayo sa school-age children. School-age children, proximity plays a crucial in active transportation as youth living too far from school or destinations may lack viable options. Mahalaga po talaga ang malapit ang bahay natin sa paaralan para sa aktibong transportasyon. Dahil ang mga kabataan na nakatira sa masyadong malayo mula sa paaralan o ibang destinasyon ay maaring mawalan ng mga viable na opsyon para sa kanilang aktibong transportasyon. Halimbawa, kung masyadong malayo ang kanilang paaralan, mas madali nilang pipiliing mag-commute gamit ang sasakyan kaysa maglakad o magbisikleta. Dumako po tayo sa adolescents and teenager. Adolescents and teenager. Active transportation may appeal to adolescents because of opportunity for independence. Halimbawa, maaaring magbisikleta o maglakad ang mga kabataan patungo sa kanilang mga kaibigan o sa paaralan na nagbibigay sa kanila ng higit na independensya at pagkakataon para sa social interaction. Free play serves as the initial introduction to physical activity for most young children, fostering motor skills and social interaction from crawling to playing with peers in parks. Ang libreng paglalaro ay nagsisilbing unang pagpapakilala sa pisikal na aktibidad para sa karamihan. Sa mga batang maliliit at nakakatulong ito sa pagpapalakas ng mga motor skills at social interaction mula sa paggapang hanggang sa paglalaro kasama ang mga kalaro sa parke. Halimbawa na lang po dito ay ang mga bata na natututo ng mga pangunahing kasanayan sa pagtakbo, paglundag at pakikisalamuha sa ibang bata sa pamamagitan ng paglalaro sa labas. While organized sports are recommended around age 6, free play offers unique benefits like imagination and social development recognized as a universal human right by the United Nations. Halimbawa po nito, ang simpleng paglalaro ng mga bata ng tagu-taguan ay tumutulong sa kanilang mga kasanayan sa pakikipag-ugnayan at pagbuo ng mga relasyon sa iba. Outdoor play. Outdoor play. Exposure to outdoor play significantly predicts a child overall physical activity level, with the variety of outdoor places visited also impacting activity levels. Halimbawa po nito, ang mga bata na naglalaro sa parke, kagubatan o beach ay may mas mataas na pagkakataon na maglaro at mag-ehersisyo kumpara sa mga bata na hindi nabibigyan ng pagkakataon sa ganitong uri ng laro or lugar.
In preschool children ages 3 to 5 years old, it's really important for parents to encourage and support their young children to play actively, especially if they aren't in school yet. Activities like playing toys, playing in the park, swinging, climbing, drawing, and painting can help them to improve their physical skills, creativity, and also their social interactions. And studies have found that preschoolers tend to be less active during school hours compared to other times. But however, if families focus on education together with activities or physical activities, it can help kids move more and sit less. So next, school age children ages 6 to 12 years old. According to COE 2020, while the development of motor skills is driven by physical activity in early childhood, this relationship may be reversed in middle childhood as children with better motor skill development become and stay more active. So this suggests that having good motor skills can encourage children to be more physically active rather than the other way around. So, as suggested by the protection paradox, overprotection on the part of parents and teachers who are trying to avoid injury may result in reduced opportunity for children to engage in physical activities. So, it means sometimes parents and teachers Worry too much about kids getting hurt and don't let them play as much as they should. So this can be bad because kids need to play to stay healthy and to make their bodies strong. So for parents and teachers, what they need to do is to make sure kids have safe places to play. Adolescents and teenagers ages 13 to 19 years old. So parents can play a big role in helping teenagers stay active by making sure they have the opportunities to play outdoor activities with friends. So outdoor activities like hiking, camping, swimming, skydiving, and kayaking can be really fun and engaging. And these activities might be especially good for teens who don't like the competitive side of organized sports like basketball, volleyball, softball, and etc. And these outdoor activities can also help teenagers to develop healthy habits that last a lifetime. According to Obert et al. 2018, National Physical Activity Plan Alliance, there are no valid and internationally recognized instruments available to document the role of parents in encouraging and supporting physical activity for their children, despite the known importance of parents as gatekeepers. Gatekeepers means a person who controls access. But parents can provide support for physical activity through many avenues, such as social and emotional support and financial support. So there are four types of parenting style. These are permissive style, authoritative style, authoritarian style, and last, neglectful or uninvolved style. Permissive style, high responsiveness and low demandingness. So it categorized as high responsiveness because parents are very responsive to their children's needs and desires. They often give their children a lot of freedom and independence. But low demandingness because children of permissive parents may struggle with self discipline, have difficulty following rules, and may be more likely to engage in risky behaviors. Authoritative style, high responsiveness and low demandingness. So in authoritative parents, they are both responsive and demanding. They set clear expectations, rules, and they also explain the reasons for these rules and are also open to children's input. That's why children of authoritative parents tend to be well adjusted, responsible, and successful. Neglectful or uninvolved style, low responsiveness, and low demandingness. So these parents are neither responsive nor demanding. They are emotionally distant, uninvolved, and may neglect their children's needs. And children of neglectful parents may have difficulty forming healthy relationships, struggle with emotional regulation, and engage in risky behaviors. Authoritarian style, low responsiveness and high demandingness. So these parents are demanding but not responsive. They have strict rules and expect obedience without explanation. They use punishment to enforce their rules. And children of authoritarian parents may be obedient and respectful, but they also be anxious, withdrawn, and have low self-esteem. First, in preschool children. For this age group, parents play an important role in encouraging for physical activity because parents can provide opportunities for both structured activities like organized activities and a structured play like running around in the park. Also, if parents attending sport events or other activities, it can create a strong family culture of physical activity where everyone is encouraged to be active and support each other. School age children. For this age group, parents serve as a role model since children still have little volitional control over aspects such as enrollment in organized sport and transportation to places to be active. This means they aren't able to make decisions about their own activities like adults do. They only rely on their parents to provide opportunities for them to be active. Adolescents and teenagers. Although adolescents exert more autonomy over their own activities than younger children, so parenting style may come into play in this age group as teenagers begin to explore their limits and strive to make their own decisions. In this age group, we need to have a parenting style. The authoritative parenting, demanding yet responsive, will allow youth to explore physical activities to find what they enjoy while still being safe. Youth with disabilities often receive lower levels of physical activity than those without disabilities, with 58% of boys aged 5 to 11 meeting physical activity guidelines compared to 75% of boys without mobility limitations because their parents often face challenges in facilitating their participation. These challenges include low motivation in their children, proper equipment, concerns about safety and overprotection, of course, lack of accessible programs and qualified professionals. But here are some recommended physical activities that can be adapted or modified to suit for children who is differently able. So first is dance classes that can be modified to suit different abilities with emphasis on expression and movement rather than technical perfection. Yoga poses can be adapted with children with physical limitations, focusing on gentle stretches and breathing exercises. In recent years, devices have been designed that can be capture physical activity, including pedometers and accelerometers. So pedometers, it can measure step count and are a cheap and easy way to capture volume of physical activity performed by an individual. It can detect the motion of your hips or legs as you walk or run. Accelerometer measure the amount of acceleration and can therefore capture the intensity, which is how quickly your speed is changing. They can detect a wider range of movements, including walking, running, jumping, and even sitting or standing.